The time has come to play some Call of Duty World War II. We're going to be checking out the War Game mode today, which is brand new to the franchise, and for me, I'm interested to see what a progressive, objective-based game mode feels like in a game that is much more famous for its arena-style appeal. Now, to make things a bit more juicy for you viewers out there at home, I've set up a giveaway with my network. They've sponsored this video, a few collector's edition copies of World War II, and the big one, a PS4 Pro as well. Head down to the link in the description, click that, and it will take you to the giveaway. But for now, let's check out the War Game mode. At the moment, there are 3 different scenarios that you can play out within the War Game mode, and each of these offers a different battle for you and your team of 6 to attack and defend. The opposing team must try and stop you working through these objectives, or if you're defending, it's your job to stop them doing exactly the same thing. This means the battle moves from location to location, fighting over specific outposts, moving forward with a tank and protecting a bridge, or even blowing up an enemy bunker. These teamwork-centric actions give the 2 teams a proper purpose, as opposed to some of those arena modes like Team Deathmatch and Domination, where you're kind of just running around in circles killing people. Domination might also be an objective-based game mode, but this new linear style is not really something Call of Duty has taken on before, but I must say, I'm quite impressed with it, and it's quite addicting once you get into it. This kind of move away from the tried and tested Call of Duty formula might be a little bit foreign to some of the more consistent players of the franchise, but coming from another FPS franchise myself, I found this mode to be extremely satisfying, and to be totally truthful, it gave me a much nicer entry into multiplayer than that furiously fast, twitchy arena mode that COD World War II also offers, and I believe the game makes you do that before you can play any of the other modes. As soon as I jumped into War, I felt way more comfortable. There's something for me much more satisfying about helping your team guide a tank convoy through an entire map than simply running circles around buildings looking to just kill people. The objective focus sort of elevates the mode above that key component of all the other modes, which is essentially your KD ratio most of the time, and it makes you care more about winning the overall battle for you and your team, rather than just you coming at the top of the scoreboard. It still holds on to that chaotic nature that we all play Call of Duty for, those mass brawls around choke points that keep everyone coming back, but it's linked that to different objectives, and that kind of feels like the game is growing up a little bit, moving away from its youthful years of just joyfully running around without a care, and becoming something more engaging, something more meaningful. And perhaps that's because the core audience that grew up playing Call of Duties in the past, some way back when we last saw a World War II setting, those people have also grown up as well. Operation Griffin was the battle that I enjoyed the most out of the 3. This sees the Axis powers pushing forward with 3 tanks in the first phase, and they're trying to get them across the front line. Each of the tanks is an objective that needs infantry presence around it to move it forward, almost like an on-foot escort, if you will. Attackers need to force 2 of the 3 over the front line in order to progress. Now the defenders, they can attack each of these tank locations, and they can contest the move forwards. If they eliminate the attacking infantry surrounding that tank, then the tank will move backwards. Phase 2 sees just one of the tanks survive, and it runs out of fuel. The attackers need to extract fuel from one of the 2 locations and get it back to the tank to keep it moving forwards. Defenders obviously need to protect that fuel and try and stop the attackers from taking it. Phase 3 sees the final remaining tank push forwards and try and move over a bridge, which if the defenders succeed in protecting that bridge, it will blow up and the attackers lose. If the attackers push across, then they win. This whole epic struggle fitted really well, and surprisingly, the 6v6 nature worked really well as well. The map design is still quintessential Call of Duty, plenty of tight choke points and lanes to navigate, so that chaotic arena nature is still there in some form, and that keeps you addicted, and it just keeps you hitting the respawn button over and over again. There is one element that I didn't really care for, and that was the halftime switchover. This felt like another legacy Call of Duty feature added into a brand new offering for the franchise. But this is one feature I don't really think needs to be there. If you're going to play the war scenario, you're playing a battle, two teams fighting over strategic objectives, then I feel a lot of the narrative being built in by the intro cinematics and the voiceover that's guiding you through the objectives is somewhat lost. You want to feel like you're invested in your team's story and why this battle is actually happening. So, switching sides after playing through the battle feels a little bit lackluster, if I'm honest, and I'd prefer it if the game just simply pulled all the players into the next battle in rotation and switched the attackers and defenders around. The War game mode has made some big leaps forward for the Call of Duty franchise, I think. It retains a lot of what people love and know about Call of Duty, and added a few new things in there to ultimately bring together a brand new, fresh multiplayer experience. You get that fast-moving package that is likely to keep everybody entertained for plenty of hours at a time. As I mentioned, there are only 3 operations that you can play at the moment, but the likelihood is that if the developers see lots of people playing these things, and they like what they're playing, then we'll see more of them in various DLC packs that have been planned for this game. If that's the case, I will be jumping back onto Call of Duty quite often in order to play those new operations. But there you go. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to check out the giveaway down in the description for some collector's editions of Call of Duty World War II, and of course, a PS4 Pro as well. Click the link in the description, and that'll take you to the giveaway page. And I'll be back later in the week with another Call of Duty World War II video. But until then, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.